I've done so many voiceovers now that I feel like I should be doing audiobooks. On the page right now, I am doing a rhinoceros. I found some reference from an old painting I'd done, which I gave away. I almost regret giving it away, but it had to find a new home. I've done so many robots recently that I had to do something to prove to myself I could do more than just cartoony stuff. And this rhino is not, it's not photoreal. It still has a little bit of cartooniness to it, but it does kind of show my line work. And that's one thing I'm really proud of is my line work. I've worked on it all my life through my cartooning. I'm putting my thicker edges on right here with the side of my, it's an 8B. I actually looked it up. It's an 8B pencil. I wanted to simulate using ink without using ink because I have a lot more control over the pencils. It forces me to sharpen them quite often, but I can usually get around the edges. Now I'm filling in the inside of all those cracks, the skin, the scales, rough edges with a 2B pencil. Just putting all kinds of little doodads in there and strengthening up my edges again. I would say that I freehanded that head. I know in the art world, freehanding means a lot. Tracing is frowned upon, but I trace all the time. Right behind me in my studio, I have a projector that I use, and I am not ashamed one bit to use it because it's just a tool. If it helps me get the image correct, then I can do the fun stuff, and that's put all the insides and the colors and the shading and all the tones and things. But this one here, I just eyeballed it, and it's fairly close. The more I do these videos, the better I get at my freehanding. This is not technically a life drawing because there was no rhino in my art studio, but it's life in the fact that I had to use my hand-eye coordination to get this. And I didn't have to do much erasing. And I will say, oh, there's my painting. That is the painting I did. Look at this. Look at the horn. I was practicing light and reflections on that one. And that's the first time it ever really worked out for me. I was so proud of that painting. But it sat in my kitchen, or my dining room for a year, and I couldn't just let it sit there. So I gave it away to a friend, and I hope that, I told him, I said, I'm going to give you this painting plus about half a dozen more. And I want you to give these away to your friends and family. They just need to have a life of their own, not in my dining room sitting next to my table, because it's such a waste. I mean, I take pictures of all my art, and I put all those pictures online. But, a physical painting, maybe I'm old school, I don't know. A physical painting means something. The tangible touching of the physical, the paint, and that's why I don't do digital art. Here we go, we're going to digress into digital art. I tried it, and I always reference my age. We didn't have digital art when I was in high school. Maybe if we did, I would have embraced it a little more. But the thing that I enjoy about the artwork is the tactile sensation of holding the pencils, holding the brushes, seeing how the paint flows. That's the fun. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't do it. I just don't, what's the fun in moving your mouse around or your brush on your tablet and making fake paint? I would find something else to do, like woodworking, which I used to do. I was pretty, I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I made some pretty creative things, which you can imagine my whole life is just about making creative things. So here on my rhino, I am doing some highlights. And once again, I get to this point right here, and I think, you know what, I should just quit right here. Right here is the perfect, I don't need to go any further. So what do? If you watched any of my videos, you know I overdo everything. So I keep on and going, But the reference photo was like this. So I couldn't not add the highlights. That'd be wrong, right? So once again, I'm painting, because I took, this is actually white acrylic paint from my paint section. I was using watercolor before, and technically watercolor paint is acrylic, and so is acrylic. It's just a different form. Maybe it's a little more creamy, I don't know. But I often use my acrylics and water them down to make watercolors out of them. And I do lots of glazing. I really wish, if you're watching this now, you go back to the beginning of my page and look at my first paintings. I do stuff there with glazes and washes and ink washes, and all kinds of fun stuff that I don't do here. This is getting closer because once again I'm painting on my paper, which I told myself I needed not do, but I don't know. I had some time this evening and I need more videos on my YouTube page so I can, like you know, I need to be a YouTuber so I can buy my pontoon boat and go boating. So on the left, it's a parrot. I'm just now getting to that. In my reference papers, I had some birds, and I had some rhinos, and I had some butterflies. I chose not to do the butterflies because that'd be just too complicated for this. And I could wing a bird pretty easy. Wing a bird, that's funny. It's almost like a pun. So putting in the whites, the highlights on that tan paper. I love that tan paper. Next time I go to the art store, I'm going to see if they sell a bigger size. And if they don't, I'll just order one online. I try to support the art store, I guess, even though it's a good 60-mile drive from my house because I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in rural Nebraska, about 60 miles southeast of Lincoln, where the Cornhuskers are at. So I'm 8 miles from the Kansas border, and we don't have any rhinos down here, but we have lots of cows. Which brings me to another subject. Why don't I paint cows and chickens? I do chickens. I did chickens once, and I actually enjoyed it. But I have to be invested in what I paint or draw in order to do it. And since I grew up in the 1980s, you know, when Rat and Whitesnake and those guys were jamming, and heavy metal magazine was on, heavy metal cartoon, and I was heavily influenced by that artwork. I used to go to the newsstand and buy copies of it. And then I had my Mad magazine, which I had well, I'd buy it on the newsstand too, but then my mother bought me a years-long subscription for my birthday, and that was so cool. So I kind of wish I had those back. I have no idea where they went, probably in a dump somewhere. But my Mad magazine and my heavy metal magazine influenced my art style completely. So that's why I'm doing a rhino instead of a cow. Because well, you know what? Bulls have horns. They really do. And I should really look into that. Because part of my hobby is photography. And I go to, not quite a few, but I've been to a few rodeos. And we shoot on a Facebook page. And some of the funnest stuff is shooting broncs and the horses and whatnot. And some of those cows are pretty mean looking. So, you know, maybe I should look into that, you know, but I don't know. I feel like I'm pandering. If I could find a way to do that and make money, maybe. But I tell you, my cows would not look like the kind of cows or bulls you see in a pasture. And over here, around here, you can drive. I can drive to work every morning and see a pasture full of cows. It's very, very, very common around here. So you don't see a lot of bulls because you don't need a lot of bulls. You just need a lot of cows, and you just need a couple bulls. I'm not a farmer, but I think that's how it works. Anyway, back to my painting. I am putting in some darks. Back to my ink washes, and for some reason I thought I needed another tone, a darker tone, and I think it kind of works. It makes the white really stand out. But I wasn't going to do the whole thing. I just wanted to put it in a corner, kind of like show the sun's on the left, like, as usual, the shades on the right. And then I thought I'd pick up an accent color, and you'll see it in a bit here. I do like the way the white highlights look on the paper. I probably could have toned it to a color, but you know, I didn't want to invest too much time. I already put a whole lot of time into this painting or picture. I'm trying to get as many videos on this page as I can, and every time I do one that takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and it gets 3 views, it's just a complete waste. Which makes me think that YouTube, in a way, is a multi-level marketing scam. It's really hard to get noticed. You know, I need people to like and share and make comments, because if you watch the video till the end and make comments, then YouTube will send this painting or this video to a lot more people, and that's the way this grows. The longer you watch, the better. The more comments you make, the better. Any interaction you make on this is better. So if you're enjoying this and you're learning something or just being entertained by it, just do me a favor and just say, hey, I like what you did there, or I don't like what you did there. Or maybe instead of doing rhino, you could do an ostrich or something. I don't know. But just talk to me. Talk to me! Because this is a lot of work. This particular one was a lot of work. We're already 10 minutes into this video. And most of my videos run, I don't know, 6 to 7 minutes. So this one was an investment. And you got to go to the end because YouTube knows when you cut out. Okay, here we go. I said I was going to do an accent. And I took some watercolor paint, blue, and I thinned it down. Now, I didn't want to do a whole bunch with this. I just wanted enough to say that I had some color. And I like it. The blue looks good because it's a blue sky. And if you notice, I moved my light because I was getting a lot of reflections off the water. And I think I managed to get rid of some of it. I have a new light that I ordered and I need to get it out. But I think this video looks pretty decent. I'm putting more and more blue underneath just to give a little accent. And I can imagine, doing the whole parrot, color-wise, but not on this one. For this one, I'm done. And there's my name, Keith Trim. Thank you very much for showing up.